Hi, I'm Jermaine Sain, and this time around, I'll be speaking with Brian Wiltsey on When We Speak.
If you wanna take it slow, all you gotta do is let me know this time around.
When we speak.
Multinahi words from the last matchup. Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
When we speak.
I'm originally from South Jersey, New Jersey.
Okay.
Right across the bridge from Philadelphia.
Okay, so what brought you down to Atlanta?
I went to college in North Carolina, a small school called Elon. And that's kind of where I decided that music was going to be my career path. So I wanted to stay in the South. I like the South, and this was the best option as far as making a living playing music. So I'd never been here, and I packed up the car and found a roommate online and moved here 2001.
Okay. Now, all of the professions in the world, and why entertainment?
Man, I think, I've been doing some form of entertainment ever since I was young. I mean, I was always singing growing up. It's something that I really got into when I was really young. And acting, and I don't know, I think it's just that need to be creative and be in front of people. I don't know what it is, but it's just something that's always drawn me, and I just learned throughout year after year that I was getting a little bit better at it, and it was something that I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you've recorded, what, 5 albums? Or is it 6?
Technically 6.
Okay.
The very first one, it wasn't really put out to the world, just on a limited basis. But yeah, I'd say 6.
Okay. Now, I noticed that throughout those, there were transitions. How would you describe the transitions from your earlier years to now?
Man, it's kind of up and down transitions. I mean, it's something, each album is a little different. I started out, the very first album is going to be just me and an acoustic guitar, a very raw home studio recording. And then when I moved down here, I had met a band, and that's when I really started getting into the more pop rock aspects of the music. And so each CD goes from, acoustic raw solo stuff to full band rocking stuff and up and down. The album before this last one was more of a raw acoustic piano kind of thing, and then the album I just came out with this year was back to the pop rock band thing.
Okay. Now, when you are, I've always wanted to know this from people. When you are preparing yourself to record, and you've decided you want to record an album or a single or whatever, a song, how do you creatively get yourself prepared for that?
You mean after the songs are ready and I want to go into the studio? There's not much preparation that goes. I find that it's easier if I don't really prepare and kind of just by impulse just book the studio time and just start going with it and just seeing what happens when I'm in that setting. It's you can prepare so much before you get in the studio, and once you get in there, it's a totally different vibe and the songs change. So I really don't prepare. I just let the moment happen and see what happens.
See, I think I would be like that person that would get a little frustrated with that because I like everything so structured.
Well, I mean, I'm the same way. I mean, I'm OCD big time, and I'm always planning and want everything perfect. But when it comes to that, whatever you plan for never happens anyway.
Yeah.
So it's better just to let the creativeness kind of happen as you're in it.
Sleepwalker, walking on my dreams. Whatever you're looking for, sleepwalker, don't walk out on me. I already lost you before. Sleepwalker, walking on my dreams. Whatever you're looking for, sleepwalker, don't walk out on me.
You said that he was very influential in your early years.
Yes.
What I want to know is how did that influence become this time around?
Well, he was the lead singer of a band called Athenaeum.
Okay.
And when I was going to college in North Carolina, they were kind of the hit thing. They had a hit song on the radio in the mid '90s. So their sound was kind of what we were leaning towards and trying to achieve. So he's always been a big influence on me as far as songwriting and his voice and everything like that. But it wasn't until recently I decided to just, when I moved down here to Atlanta, I've been here for 12 years now. So I've been working with a lot of different people, and for this one I kind of wanted to go record back up in North Carolina where it kind of all started, and just get away from the Atlanta scene for a little bit and try something totally new with new people. And he was the first guy I thought of. So basically I just emailed him one day, we had met a few times back then, so we knew each other, but we weren't exactly friends or anything. But I just emailed him out of the blue and said, would you be interested in checking out my stuff and producing an album for me? And he dug what he heard and said, yeah, let's give it a shot. So it just kind of worked out suddenly like that, you know. It's,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really cool that it did.
Yeah. You know, so do you write all of your songs, or do you co-write, or did you all co-write?
I've always written my own songs, but on this one, I kind of brought my ideas and rough demos of the songs to him, and he helped kind of shape them and co-write with me. So this is the first album that, yeah, I've co-written with.
What do you think makes that perfect, great song?
Oh, man. That's an interesting
A combination
question.
of things, I'm
yeah,
sure.
It's definitely a combination of things. You know, being a big fan of the Beatles and simple pop music with clever hooks and catchy hooks, I think it's all about the melody. A catchy melody with a catchy storyline and some interesting chord change. I'm a big fan of interesting chord changes and not sticking to 3 or 4 chords throughout a song, but see how many I could throw in there and take it to new directions. So I think it's keeping it interesting, but keeping the melody and hook on very catchy.
Okay. One of the other things I know that you said or mentioned is that you want, what was the word? You'd like to, I'm paraphrasing, basically provoke emotion, and that's of the audience, and that's a very special thing. What makes that so special?
I think just, you know, vibing off the audience and striking chords in people, just with it, whether it's with your lyrics or the vibe and the energy of the music. I think music is all about emotion. And if you can strike certain emotions in people with your music, I think that's what it's all about. I mean, if going back to your question before this, what makes a hit song or however you ask
what makes a great song?
Yeah, what makes a great song. Let me add in emotion. That's probably the most important thing.
Really?
Above the catchy melodies, I think it's putting your heart into it. And if the audience can tell that your heart's into it and you're putting all your emotion into it, it's gonna get them a reaction from them.
Without warning, she stepped out of my life. She gave up on trying. She came in like a lamb, and she left like a lion.
Why is it important to support indie music?
I think because there's so much good indie music in the world that goes unnoticed. I think it's just important for people to search for those people and find new stuff that you've never heard before.
You can find them on When We Speak.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I just think there's so much of it, so much good stuff out there that you know, it's a lot easier to find these days too, with the internet and social media.
Yeah, and you know, I realize that it's actually growing. It's almost like indie music is taking over,
Yeah,
which
I
is a
think
great thing.
that's the thing.
But I'm afraid of like how, to what level does it then become the new mainstream? You know?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know if indie music will ever become the mainstream, just because it's so polluted with the pop singers and dancers and the younger kids, and I think, which is what makes indie music special, is because you have to go out and find it.
Right.
There's a few indie bands that are popular on the radio now, and that's making a comeback. But there's a lot of good stuff that will never be mainstream that I think is better than what's mainstream. But I mean, who am I to judge?
You don't have to go, you don't have to leave me lonely. I've been on that road too long. The hour is close, the outside will be the only keeper of time. Let's wake up to a morning sky.
Do you feel that it's easier to bring that audience to where you want them to be when you're by yourself, or when you have a full collaboration with a band and drums and all those things going on?
It's always different. I love both worlds of it. I think it's always important, whether you're on the stage by yourself or with a band. I think it's always important to put your emotion into it and let the crowd feed off of that. You know, it's always different. I see songwriters playing, and you get so much emotion from just that one person up there, and really listening to the lyrics and feeling what they're singing about, and that draws a lot of emotion. But then you go check out a band, and you get that upbeat kind of rockin' emotion, and it's and maybe it's not about the lyrics then, it's about what the instruments and the music are giving you, you know. So I think no matter what, it's always important to get that emotion going.
Okay. Well, Brian, before we go, When We Speak is built off of the belief that words have power. I strongly believe that words have power.
I dig it, yeah.
And I also believe that, you know, when independent entertainers and musicians and singers, I believe that when we all speak and collaborate together and, you know, and share with one another, it allows it for us all to grow.
Yeah.
Do you believe in that?
I totally believe in that. Totally.
That's what I'm talking about.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, with that said, what do you say to that indie community?
Wow, that's a tough question. I mean, as far as what I give with my music, you know, it goes back to the emotion and the ups and downs of life, and relationships, and good times and bad times, and I'm kind of just offering stories about my life and stories of people that I know and everything. And just giving my perspective of things to an audience, and to you know, everybody that listens. So it's really about you know, it's kind of hard to describe what I say to them, but you know, I just say keep listening to the music, and let the music kind of take you different places, and you know, inspire you, and just always be creative, and you know, I hope that answers what you were going for.
Always. As long as it comes from the heart, it always answers my question. Well, with that said, Brian, I want to thank you so much for joining me on When We Speak.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You know, what I would speak, I guess, back to you is for you to continue to inspire, whether it be someone else or yourself. You know, continue to cultivate, you know, what's already there, and, you know, I know I'm going to hear more and more coming from Brian, all right?
I hope so, yeah.
And hopefully you'll hear more coming from me,
I
too.
hope so, man, yeah.
And with that said, thank you for watching When We Speak. I'm Jermaine Sain. This is Brian Wiltsey. And always remember that death and life are in the power of the tongue. Hey everybody, this is Jermaine Sain. I just want to remind you that at the bottom of your screen you can hit the like button, or if there's a thumbs up, you can hit the thumbs up. So always remember that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and continue to support indie music.